Why don't we go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture? And using whichever method you find most effective, please allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and to rest, to become quiet and still. Now is not the time to reflect on events that have occurred in the past. Those events cannot be changed, undone, or relived. Nor is this the time to speculate about events that may or may not occur in the future. The future is completely uncertain. Now is the time to give yourself full permission to enjoy engaging in a practice that's going to bring you a peaceful state of mind and at the same time contribute to the creation of a peaceful world. And with that, I'd like you to please gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Please be the silent observer of sensations. Sensations perhaps within your hands and your feet that take the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. No analysis is necessary. There's nothing to figure out. Nothing needs to be added. Just be the silent observer of these sensations, like a mountain with consciousness. A perfectly valid method of practice is for you to observe sensations in so-called isolated parts of your body, your hands, your feet, the region of your chest, and so forth. Perhaps an even more valid method of practice is for you to observe one universal sensation extending from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers, the soles of your feet, and all space in between. Year after year, decade after decade, century after century, the mountain simply observes silently. No praise, no blame, no hope, no fear, no speculation, no expectation. Be like a mountain. Be like a mountain as you silently observe sensations or a sensation within your own body mountain. Please gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of this entity we've decided to label physical body, and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of these entities that we've decided to label garments of clothing resting on the surface of physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of outer space beyond the blue sky. And you can know, of course, that you are not these phenomena, nor are you separate from these phenomena. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings, without exception, rest in a place of perfect fearlessness. May all beings, without exception, be free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings, without exception, be happy, peaceful, contented, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, everyone. Excuse me, you guys, I've got a frog in my throat I can't clear. Before, I've got some ideas of things that I'd like to share this morning. But before I do, are there any questions anyone would like to ask, or anything you'd like to share? Any objections about any topic we've been discussing over the last few weeks, or something completely unrelated to the topics we've been discussing over the last few weeks? If so, please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. We have been talking, excuse me, in Friday's class, we talked about my friend Alan Spraggins, after whom this meditation room is named, and a man who served as a mentor for me before he died. I'm going to say 7 or 8 years ago. And in Friday's class, I shared with you a conversation that I had with him. And this was, I was just coming to learn a little bit about his very long and impressive meditation practice, 45 years in length. And I shared with you that Alan shared with me the fact that even after all of those years of practice, oftentimes he had to drag himself from the bed to the meditation cushion and do his practice, to sit and do his practice. No coffee, no checking email, no reading the newspaper, if people even read newspapers anymore. Nothing. Straight to the meditation cushion to make sure that he did his practice and was not distracted by other worldly activities. And in hearing that story last week, the thought may have occurred to you, and if it did, it's completely understandable. The thought may have occurred to you that, you mean after 45 years of practice, I'm still going to have to drag myself to the cushion? Like, I thought that meditation is about training the mind, and like training the mind, my understanding is supposed to bring lightness, levity, and buoyancy to the mind, and equanimity, things like these, whereby, I mean, shouldn't it be easier after 45 years of practice to bring myself to sit on the cushion? I mean, this is what I have to look forward to after. I mean, some of you may have been practicing 1, 2, or 3 years, and you're thinking, this is what I have to look forward to. These are the fruits of my practice of 45 years, as I have to drag myself from the bed to the cushion still. Are you kidding me? Completely, that if that was a thought you had, completely valid. All I can tell you, all I can really share with you is my experience, and that is that I go through cycles. I go through cycles with my practice. Sometimes I'll go through periods where it's super easy for me to practice, multiple times a day. There's joy in my practice. There is lightness in my mind and buoyancy, and the practice is very light and enjoyable. I'll go through other cycles. Where it does take more effort for me to get on the cushion and do practice. It's I think what's called for us here is to develop equanimity, sort of our practice and the effort that we are called upon to apply to do our practice can be an opportunity for us to develop equanimity with regard to our practice. My practice is, takes more effort. Sometimes it feels like drudgery a little bit. Sometimes it's like the most blissful thing I've ever done, and I can sit forever on this cushion in this state of meditative equipoise. I think that we can aspire to get to a place of equanimity where there kind of is no more good practice or bad practice. There's no more drudgery, or there's no more joy and joyous effort. There's just practice. There's just practice, period. And we do the practice, again, without expectation, without speculation. We just do the practice for the sake of doing the practice. And that will be a beautiful practice, I believe, kind of a Zen-like notion as I hear myself say the words. So, yeah. No guarantees, no expectation of results. It's when we abandon hope for results that the results come. That's something that I've observed. We just practice, period. Another story that I want to share with you is one that some of you may be familiar with, most of you may be familiar with. And by the way, for those of you who are joining us, Roberta and the rest of you all who may be dropping in for the first time in a few weeks, we've been going through the Four Noble Truths, and we got through the first of the Four Noble Truths, and I kind of detoured us into kind of hopefully some inspirational thoughts and stories about practice to keep us practicing, to stay the course, as one of my teachers used to say, just stay the course. And I told a couple of stories on Friday. The recording of that class is on Lotus Center's YouTube channel. Feel free to go and check out that if you'd like. Another story I'd like to share with you has to do with the story of Milarepa. Milarepa, an 11th century yogi in Tibet, who he's the most famous and probably the most beloved yogi in the lore of Tibetan Buddhism and meditation. Milarepa, I'm going to give a woefully abbreviated story of the life of Milarepa. His family was swindled out of their inheritance, and when his father was dying, his malevolent uncle kind of took all the family's money when he had been entrusted with protecting the family and managing the money. Instead, he absconded with the money and left Milarepa's family. This is when Milarepa was a boy, left the family destitute. Milarepa, in order to exact revenge, learned black magic and conjured some very horrific disasters, and brought a lot of pain and suffering to his uncle and his aunt and those who conspired to take away the family wealth. Milarepa realized the error of his ways and learned how to meditate, purified that karma, learned how to meditate, and became this great beloved yogi. He's often depicted in paintings as having green skin. Has green skin because he lived and practiced in caves in Tibet, subsisting on nettles soup. That was his food, it said, nettles soup, and he ate it so often for such an extended period of time, it said that his skin turned green. So anyways, Milarepa is also called the cotton-clad yogi because he just wore really light cotton garments in these caves in Tibet. And back in the 11th century, they didn't have space heaters. There's no picture of him, with like a little fire there. He just was able, through his practice, to sustain body heat and keep himself comfortable. Anyways, the point I want to make about Milarepa, and we're out of time already, I can't believe it, is that Milarepa would sit for hours and hours and hours, day after day, month after month, year after year, in meditation. How was he able to do that? It wasn't willpower or anything like that. It was the nature of consciousness that he was able to achieve through that meditation practice. It wasn't drudgery for him to go and sit. He didn't have to tough it out. It was a gift. It was a joy, a pleasure to go and rest in that state of unsurpassable, blissful consciousness, the nature of which is quiet stillness and spacious clarity. So quiet stillness and spacious clarity may be significantly different from the state of consciousness you're presently experiencing in your meditation practice. But I just am appealing to you to hold out for that vision of where you're going with this meditation practice. Again, no expectation, no time horizon that we're following with expectation of achieving these results. Just think about the possibility of you getting to a point sometime where There is nothing more peaceful, more enjoyable, more blissful that you could possibly do of all of the things that you have at your disposal to do than rest in this state of pure, unobstructed, spacious clarity of consciousness. Just think about what that would be like and what your meditation practice might be like, and let that vision inform your application of effort now with your meditation practice, wherever it might be, whatever state it might be in now. You know, go from a place that what's the opposite of drudgery? You know, that's where we can get to with our meditation practice, and hopefully that will inform and inspire what we do, why we do it in meditation, and the effort that we apply toward it. Okay. Friday, second noble truth, you should attain cessations. You should abandon origins. You should abandon origins. That's the second noble truth. Have a wonderful week. I love you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Bye.